It is July 4th and day one of my 100-day video challenge. So today, I want to learn about something called the Mnemonic Major System. The Mnemonic Major System is a way to memorize long strings of numbers in a more efficient way rather than doing it arbitrarily by just being like 17605 over and over again in your head. This way is a little bit more helpful, and hopefully you'll be able to list off, say, a string of 9 different numbers and then be able to memorize them, have them memorized and locked away within 3 seconds or so, something like that. So how this works is numbers correspond with sounds. So if you see here, if you have a 0, it corresponds with the S or Z sound. 1, the way they say 1 works is each of these things takes 1 downstroke to write, or the T does at least, the T and the D. 2 is got 2 downstrokes for the N, 3 downstrokes for the M. R is the last letter of 4. L in Roman numerals is 5, and then you've got the J, Ch, and Sh, all those J sounds. For 6, all of the hard K sounds or G sounds. In 7, and then 8, you've got the vibrating on the lips, and then 9, the P and the B, because they kind of look like 9s upside down and reversed. So that's what the system looks like. But let's look at an example here. So say I wanted to memorize the heights, like how tall each of the tallest buildings in the world are. So we've got the Burj Khalifa, Shanghai Tower, and the Burj Al Bayt Clock Tower. Now, I could just memorize these numbers. These aren't that difficult to memorize. It's 2717. I can memorize these numbers. But for the sake of the example, let's use the Mnemonic Major System. So if we correspond each number to a sound, the Burj Khalifa, we get the N sound, the hard K or G sound for the 7, T or D or Th sound for the 1, and then another K or G sound, the 7. I already picked out my sounds, but essentially what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and string along these sounds so that you can insert vowels and make words with them that are a little bit more visual than just the numbers themselves. So I've already gone ahead and done that, but you can see that each of these numbers correspond to the sound specifically. So now I'm going to add the vowels. So if you look, I split the Burj Khalifa into 2 words, and it's now called neck tag, which is kind of weird. And you'd have to remember neck tag, which would be somewhat difficult, but I'll show you how that works. Shanghai Tower, you've got nose gum, and then one thing to remember is you're not looking at how the words are spelled, you're looking at how the words sound. So for debugged, there are 2 G's, but you only hear 1 G sound. Same thing would be with, like, let's say it was rolled with 2 L's. You only hear 1 L sound specifically, so there would only be 1 5. But yeah, so that's kind of how the system works. So now let's look at word pictures. So this word picture says the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. Okay, so to remember that, I'm going to put the Mnemonic Major System words that I have into this story. It plays neck tag with giraffes, which are the tallest living mammals. So we've got a way for me to remember it's the tallest building by comparing it to giraffes. And then have you ever seen how those giraffes like fight with their necks? We're going to call that neck tag. Some say the secret to neck tag is to have the longest neck. So now whenever I think of the Burj Khalifa, it'll be a lot easier for me to remember this story specifically than a string of 4 numbers, unless, I ingrain it in my head. But the point is to not spend hours and hours of me trying to remember 2717. The idea is for me to remember the story very quickly and then move on and not really ever think of it again unless I need to. So then I remember neck tag. You can use the system, take each number from each sound that you get, and then it's 2717. the way some people do this is they will actually have words ready. They'll actually have words 0 through 9 and 00 through 99. So what people will do is they'll just actually spend a lot of time and memorize these options. That way, if somebody was like, hi, my name's Adam and I'm 23, they'll be like, 23, Adam, Nemo. And so then you'll be like, well, actually, and you can come up with a story in your head. Adam was in Finding Nemo. And so then you'll remember, oh, Adam's age is 23. Now that won't work a year from now, but it'll work for if the situation arises where you need to know Adam's age for some reason. So the thing that I'm dealing with right now is trying to figure out how to best test this system in one day. The plan is for me to just be able to quickly look at a number and know what sound it is, so I can quickly convert from one to the other and back. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we came up with the test. The test is that my friend Alan randomly came up with a 7-digit number, and then he shows it to 3 participants, one being me, and then 2 of my friends, Matt and Landon. And it gives us 20 seconds to try and memorize the 7-digit number. Once the 20 seconds are up, we have to start a number memory test online where it incrementally gives you a 6-digit number and you have to type it in right after you see it, and see if you can remember it. You have to successfully do that 5 times and then relay the number back. The results were pretty interesting. Landon went first. He messed up many times when it came to the number memory test online, of how correct, like,
Okay.
how many out of 7 was he correct?
Did you just guess on all of this? We're looking at. You know what? I'm realizing you got them all in the wrong order, but you got 5. You got 5 wrong, so you got 2 right out of 7.
Let's go.
Okay. Matt did really well. Even though he was very tired, he did very well. He was able to successfully get all 5 of the online questions correct.
That's the greatest of all time. 7 for 7. Good luck, Steve.
When I went, I was able to memorize using the mnemonic system, although I will say I wasn't able to do it as quickly as I wanted to. I felt a little bit rushed in trying to assign the sounds and whatnot, although also I didn't necessarily spend the whole day practicing the mnemonic system, so that probably was it. But I did get all of the online quizzes correct, and then I was able to give the correct 7-digit number back. So Matt and I both had the same score of 100%. So there wasn't necessarily a distinct advantage because I don't know how Matt was able to memorize those digits so quickly. So new to learn, but it's still a cool trick, and who knows, maybe I'll remember those numbers longer. So yeah.